Hey there, vinyl lovers, listen up. It's time to take your vinyl experience to the next level with SidetrackedWorkshop.com. Sidetracked Workshop has gorgeous, handcrafted record storage, exquisitely cool turntable furniture, all made with beautiful hardwood out of the USA. Sidetracked Workshop blends style, functionality, and durability. You spend a small fortune on records, don't keep them in a crate. Store and display in style with a console or cabinet from SidetrackedWorkshop.com. Elevate your vinyl setup at SidetrackedWorkshop.com.
And now, on with the show. Welcome to The Vinyl Guide, the podcast for record collectors and music nerds. Here's your host, the biggest record nerd of them all, Nate Goyer.
Well, hey everyone, it's Nate. Welcome to episode 478 of The Vinyl Guide, the podcast for record collectors and music nerds. And ladies and gentlemen, this week, we speak to metal vocalist Tim "Ripper" Owens. Tim has a remarkable journey. He went from fronting a Judas Priest tribute band to becoming their actual lead singer. If you've seen the movie Rockstar, that's a very strange bastardization of his story, but he lived it, and we talked to him all about it today. He shares candid stories about his relationships with metal legends like Ronnie James Dio and Rob Halford. We even delve into the rare vinyl releases of his career, his experiences with bands like Charred Walls of the Damned and Yngwie Malmsteen. We talk about his current projects, KK Priests, and his upcoming Australian tour. And Tim is a really down-to-earth dude. Very, very cool. Despite his extraordinary career path, he's remained humble, and I think you'll all see that today. And just to make sure, you Australians, Tim "Ripper" Owens is coming back to Australia February 2025. Tickets and details available at hardlinemedia.net. Now, if you're new to the Vinyl Guide podcast, we welcome you with open arms and a fridge full of beer. Please follow us in your podcast app. Hit that little follow button or the plus button or whatever. We've got over 470 interviews and past episodes you can enjoy anytime for free, including Jerry Cantrell of Alice in Chains, episode 467, Dweezil Zappa, episode 445, Charlie Benante from Anthrax and Pantera. He joins us, episode 441. And we even had Matt Cameron of Pearl Jam and Soundgarden, episode 425. Another humble metal singer, Mr. John Corabi, episode 411. And reaching way back, we get to hear from Rob Halford, the metal god himself, episode 241 of The Vinyl Guide. Listen for free in Apple Podcasts and Spotify with sponsors, or you could join our Patreon for the commercial-free and high-resolution experience. That's at patreon.com/Vinyl Guide. All proceeds from that go directly to me and funding beer and burritos. And with that, let's strap in and enjoy the conversation with Mr. Tim "Ripper" Owens about his metal journey, vinyl rarities, and more.
Hey.
Look at you. Look at you.
How are you?
I'm good, Tim. How are you?
I'm good.
Excellent. So, should I call you Tim? Should I call you Ripper?
You can call me anything you'd like.
All right, sweet cheeks.
There you go. That's perfect.
Good to see you, man. Hey, very stoked about you coming out to Australia. When's the last time you were in Australia?
Well, I get there a lot because my girlfriend lives in Katoomba in the Blue Mountains.
Ooh, very good.
I just played a couple solo shows there last year in Melbourne and Sydney, and the year before that, I did a bunch of shows with this Metal Gods project thing with Simon Wright, so I get out there a lot.
Excellent. Well, girlfriend in Katoomba, that's how I got started. I was raised in California, and I chased a girl out here about 24 years ago. So
there you go.
That's how it happens, man. So
yep.
You already looking into immigration lawyers and everything?
No, I'm not coming that way.
Oh, she's going the other way. Oh, got it. Okay.
The problem with me is I fly too much on these shows and these concerts and the KK's Priest stuff and my solo stuff all over the world. And it would be impossible to do it, for half these promoters and the agents. They'd be like, yeah, we're not flying you from there. So it's a lot easier where I'm located to do my career. I think if it wasn't for that, I'd love to live there, but for career-wise, I just can't do it.
Fair enough. Maybe a good spot to retire. Who knows?
Well, it's a great spot to go all the time. I love to go there and chill out and do what we do. And Katoomba's great in the Blue Mountains there. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, man, it's fucking hot right now. So when
Yeah.
you're coming out, bring your board shorts. Everyone, Tim Ripper Owens is coming out to Australia in the month of February for some dates: Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, Adelaide, Perth. Tickets and details at hardlinemedia.net. Now, I was just checking it out last night. A lot of these shows have already sold out. I'm not sure why you're talking to me.
Yeah, well, I know that Perth and Adelaide and Brisbane usually is a slower selling market, so I will probably. Plus, it's like a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or something. I don't know what the hell it is, but I did 2 shows in Melbourne and Sydney last year, and they were sold out and packed. So they have a lot of pressure on them there. Now, listen, the big thing is Melbourne's Valentine's Day, so the first show is February 14th. So you can't get much more romantic, really. And I try to tell people this for the girlfriend of the wives or the boyfriend of the husbands, whatever it is. Now I guess you could identify as a dog. You can maybe be married to a dog. I don't know what would be going on, but you can celebrate with me singing "Burning Hell" to And what's more romantic than that? Happy Valentine's Day, and I could throw in a cunt in there as well now. So you're going to hear Ripper call the crowd cunts. You're going to hear Burning Hell. That is a romantic Valentine's Day for everybody.
See, I see 2 markets there, Tim. I think you're onto something. You could bring your current love of your life, and you could also bring your ex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you could bring your current that becomes your ex after that show. So
by the 15th, yes, you'll be a single person again.
Yeah.
So talk about the band a little bit that you're bringing out here for the ride.
Yeah, it's a great band. Joel McDonald and he's pretty well known in all this. All these guys really are, but Joel and Jordan. Joel and I, we've probably been doing stuff for the past 10 years. I did like an AC/DC orchestra thing with him. I did the Metal Gods thing. I did the solo tour last year. Joel on guitar, Jordan on drums, brothers. Amazing. And then Voya on guitar and Andrew on bass, Andrew Hudson. And man, are they good. I'll tell you what, when I showed up last year, we did one little sound rehearsal the night before. I was blown away. First of all, Jordan on drums is like a Muppet. This he was like a Muppet back there.
Mm-hmm.
And man, are they good. The guys are such great musicians and a lot of fun. So when I was coming up, that was last minute. That was like a month and a half notice when I did those shows. So when I came back, I said, let's do it again. I told Joel to set it up. I said, let's get a hold of Doug Dalton with Hardline. Because my first time in Australia solo was about 12, 13 years ago. Doug was just starting Hardline. Mm-hmm. Just starting. I think he just brought in, I can't remember Paul Di'Anno. I think he just did the Paul Di'Anno thing. And then I came in. Doug was my guitar player. Doug Dalton was in my band. His band was my band. Now he's got his company. So I said, let's get him and can we get the same band members? I don't know because they play music for a living. I don't know if the other guys are going to be ready, but they did it. And we changed the set list. It was a really good set list then. But I was just there about a month ago, and I went to Joel's house and for the weekend and hung out. And I said, do you think I could change the set list? He goes, I was hoping you'd want to add some new songs because we're up for the challenge. So we got a couple KK's Priest songs in the set list. Beyond the Realms of Death, I put in a set list. Scream Machine from Beyond Fear, my Beyond Fear record in the set list. So I put some tough ones in there. So it's a good set. We got some classic Priest. We got My Era Priest, Iced Earth, When the Eagle Cries, and a couple Black Sabbath songs because Ronnie Dio is my favorite singer. So I like to end the night with Heaven and Hell, things like that, and put the horns up.
Sweet. Did you ever meet Dio? Did you ever spend any time with Ronnie?
Yeah, we were friends. He befriended me. I just made Judas Priest, and we became friends, and he went out of his way to have me meet him, and we were friends. His wife, Wendy, managed me for years. We're still great friends. I just stayed at her house a while back. I did a couple benefits, and in Los Angeles. But yeah, he was great. He was an amazing guy, a guy, and most amazing singer ever.
Yeah, I mean, the breath control, the voice. I saw him on the last run, the Heaven and Hell tour down here in Australia, where Down opened. And his voice, I mean, he was in his 60s, something or like that. His voice was still as powerful as it ever was. When you get with a singer like that, do you guys talk about technique? Do you exchange tips, anything like that?
No, I mean, I think the only thing he said is he'd hear a recording of someone go, "What the hell? Sounds like that guy's singing in a shoe." No, we didn't. And I got to open for him on 2 tours for Heaven and Hell at the end there. I did a solo run with him, opening a solo, and then Iced Earth. We did a run. It was Iced Earth, Lamb of God, and Heaven and Hell. Yeah, it was. We never talked about any of that stuff. We just had a Vindaloo and sat back and we, talked about sports or whatever. He was a Yankees fan. I was in Cleveland Indians at the time, now the Guardians. But yeah, we didn't talk too much about that stuff.
Well, look, I mean, you've had this amazing career, and the stories that you have, the bands you played in, Judas Priest, you played with Yngwie, toured with Dio, Paul Di'Anno. There's a whole list here. Now, our podcast is largely for record collectors and music memorabilia fans. Are you a record collector? Do you collect memorabilia?
I really don't too much. I have friends that do, and I guess I have a collection of my vinyls now because, obviously growing up, we had to get vinyls, but it's kind of nice that everything's because vinyl sells more than any CDs now. So, vinyls are it. I don't collect too much memorabilia. I mean, that's not what my storage unit says, I guess, but because I got so much stuff. Now I do have a problem with getting guitars. I probably have 20, 30 guitars I have. So I do have I do catch myself on Facebook Market all the time looking for a new guitar to buy. Or I just talked to Dean Guitars the other day. I called him and said, "Hey, I need to get a new one." And he's like, "Well, we don't have a lot in stock now for the artist, but we'll get you up. We'll find another one because I'm ready to pounce on it." But I never been a big collector, I don't know why. I just never did. I guess when I was young, I'd do the magazines, but I didn't. I don't have them anymore unless I'm in it and they're in the storage unit.
Do you have an item that you've held on to, kind of your personal holy grail? Something that, let's say the house was on fire, people are out, obviously, your loved ones and dogs are sorted. What's the one item from your career or collectible that you would grab?
Well, a couple things. One of them I don't even want to say that, so people don't even know I have it, so I can keep it a real collectible. Couple guitars I have here that would do it. I don't think. I mean, I have. When I was nominated for a Grammy, I have the medallion and stuff. But hell, that's sitting in my storage unit too. I think I don't even know where it's at now. I don't know. I really don't know what I would. I'd probably, out of all the stuff like that. I guess that's probably what I would grab. I'd probably grab the Jugulator record because I'll be able to get some money for that one.
All those records from that era, Jugulator, Demolition, those go for $400 or $500 each, if you could find them at all.
Yeah, I have some, and I remember my buddy who collects vinyl has tons of them. And I mean, his house at one time, he changed it, but his one room looked like a record store. That's what the bins were like. Everything was in it like that. And I gave him one, and he had it up on a shelf. And then he was spinning some records as a DJ at some little bar to have fun. I said, "Hey, I'll come guest with you and do it." And I went there and I brought another Jugulator record with me. And I walked in and he looks, he goes, "I already have it." And I open it. He goes, as I'm opening, he's going, "No, don't open it." So I'm like, I don't care. I'm not going to sell this. I'm not that desperate to sell my couple I have, I mean, I have, I do, I probably, I put them, I have a few things here. Look, I got some vinyl right here. I got,
all right, show me.
3 Tremors.
All right.
They're all my Ashes to Aries, which I guess I don't think I have any Judas Priest ones here. I think they're just like Speak of the Devil.
Ooh, very good.
And it's not open. So how about that? Hey, wait a what a good What a good time to talk about it. There's was just sitting right here, and I got the ice stripped one here.
Nice.
This is funny because this is just in a storage thing right next to me. This is where I record New Revenge, which is one of my favorites that I've done. But I just sit here trying to see what these last couple. Oh, I got of course I got KK's Priest. But that's just, I don't know why these are down here, to be honest. I just remember I had them here. For some reason, I just must have got them in and put them here. But
you gotta stick them somewhere there. Yeah. Any charred walls of the damned?
I have some. You know what? I don't know if I had charred walls. What's this one? I don't even look. I got some. I don't even know what the hell they are. I don't even know what this is. I must have. I can't even read it.
So that whole stack is ones you've performed on or guested on. So you must be on that record. Yeah,
that's got to be. It must say it on there. Oh, yeah, there it is. Featuring guest Tim Ripper Owens.
You're on so many projects, you lose track of them.
I remember that now. Once I saw that, yeah, I'm on a ton, absolute ton. Yeah.
All right. So for listeners who don't know the story, let's go back. We can talk about your early days and your big break. You've kind of redefined the term big break, right?
Yeah.
Now, early in your career, you had some bands. A lot of musicians do. You had Brainicide, which was that kind of high school band? That
was after high school. Yeah. Brainicide, we were called Damage Incorporated at first. We were a cover band that played heavy stuff, really. But we played like Judas Priest, Victim of Changes, Not Breaking the Law. Then we became original Brainicide because the first couple bands I tried out for I didn't make. And then went to US Metal and Winter's Bane from there is what I kind of Winter's Bane and I all kinds of stuff.
Always a metalhead? Was there kind of a trajectory for you? What were some of the early records that really influenced you, Tim?
Well, my dad, was fortunate. He had a lot of rock records like Dion and the Belmonts and Elvis, but he had Bachman Turner Overdrive, Rolling Stones, Aerosmith, Johnny Cash. So I got, that was it. And then my brother and I in the mid 70 or 77, I don't know when it was for sure, got Rock and Roll Over whenever it came out.
Okay.
Kiss, Rock and Roll Over. And that kind of went into that, But I always liked Elvis, and I used to always sing as a kid, Elvis and Dion and the Belmonts and stuff like that, But it was always that edgier stuff and stuff with a lot of character, That's why when I got REO Speedwagon High Infidelity, and my brother got Judas Priest Screaming for Vengeance, and I was like, look at those guys, what the hell is that? And then I heard Electric Eye and went, yeah, that's awesome stuff. So
were you already working? Were you already working on the pipes at that point, or?
Well, I knew I could sing, and I sang in choirs my whole life and those kind of stuff. But I never, because the first couple bands I tried out for, I never really knew how to do things. Like I could sing Priest easily, but then when I went to sing other people's stuff, I wasn't sure how to do it because I wanted to be myself. And, later on, I realized myself is a pretty wide range of singing. So I ended up realizing I could sing all of it. But I remember trying out and singing No One Like You by the Scorpions, and I sounded like Brian Johnson from AC/DC singing the Scorpions, So people were like, yeah, you're no good. And then I just, started after that. I guess I just started. I think with my first cover band with Damage Incorporated, I really started learning that I had to broaden my way of singing and sing a lot of different stuff in different ways. And it kind of taught me how to do that.
Yeah. Because when I hear some of the records that you're on these days, it's like, that's Tim also? It's like you have like 40 different voices, it seems. Big bag of tricks you could pull out.
Well, I record a lot here. This is sitting in this seat right here. This is where I recorded Center Rides Again, and I record everything in this, but the last KK's Priest. But I'm working on something today. It's kind of like an Yngwie-ish for somebody, because I sit here and do it for fans. If anybody ever wants me to guest on their record when I'm off, that's what I'll do it. they just go to my website. There's a link, or they'll go to rippervocals@gmail.com. But it's always different. I do this one. It's kind of like an Ingve. It's a different type of singing. 3 days ago, I was working on one. It was like death metal hardcore. Totally. And for someone even to reach out to me, but people know that I can do this stuff. They know that, hey, it's even cooler for some people to go, listen to Ripper on this. You would never guess in a million years that's him singing. But real people who like heard the Jugulator record know that stuff's on those records. It's in the background, but, growing up in choirs and doing musicals and stuff like that, you learn to, I've always said this, because I loved Ronnie Dio, Rob Halford, John Oliva, David Bowie, it shows that I like singers who sing in characters. They're telling stories with just their voice, let alone the lyrics. And that's what I love. I love singing in characters.
Oh, that explains a lot. So you're in Ohio. You're playing in a Judas Priest cover band, British Steel, right?
Yeah.
Someone videotaped you. How did your tape make it to the hands of... Hey there, all you record nerds. I want to tell you about BagsUnlimited.com. BagsUnlimited.com has a huge selection of vinyl record supplies. Whether you collect LPs, 7-inch singles, 78 shellacs, or anything in between, BagsUnlimited.com will sort you out. From polyline sleeves to cardboard record mailers to 7-inch storage boxes and archive quality record sleeves, protect your records of any size and shape at BagsUnlimited.com. Whether you have a small personal record collection or you're running a massive record shop, you can grab a small supply or even buy in bulk at BagsUnlimited.com. And they've got some really incredible, unique stuff. BagsUnlimited.com even has special size sleeves made especially to protect your box sets, storage boxes and sleeves for cassette tapes, protective supplies for reel-to-reel, and yes, even 8-tracks. Just go to BagsUnlimited.com, click on audio supplies, and prepare to be impressed by all the options they have. That's BagsUnlimited.com. Oh, and hey, record nerds, don't forget to clean your records with the very best and safest record cleaner, the Groove Washer. Make your records look and sound their very best and store them with confidence using the new Groove Washer Groove Guard record sleeves. You gotta try this out. It makes a huge difference to the quality of your vinyl experience. Ask for the Groove Washer by name at your local record store and accept no substitutes. Or head over to groovewasher.com and use discount code VinylGuide10.
All hail the Groove Washer.
That's groovewasher.com, discount code VinylGuide10. So you're in Ohio. You're playing in a Judas Priest cover band, British Steel, right?
Yeah.
Someone videotaped you. How did your tape make it to the hands of the band?
Well, I'll tell you, I was in a bit. The Winter's Bane ended up becoming the Judas British Steel because it was, the early 90s, mid 90s where heavy metal was terrible. Nothing was going on. You couldn't do anything. So we released a record, signed to Massacre record labels. And somebody said, yeah, we can't book you. You're an original heavy metal band. So they said, do a Judas Priest tribute band. They're not together right now. And that's what we did. So then I quit the Judas Priest tribute band, and I was in a Seattle tribute band for a whole year before I got this call. So that's what's funny. I was in a Seattle tribute band when I got the call. Some girls who were friends of the band videotaped my last Judas Priest tribute band show, British Steel show. And Julie Vito. And Julie, these girls were friends with Scott Travis as well on the road. So they got a call from Scott saying Judas Priest a year later wants to get a hold of Tim. And my parents' number was listed. They happened to find my parents' number. Julie called me and said, you got to call Judas Priest at this number. So
who is it, Glenn or someone? Or who?
Well, Scott it was their manager. Well, their manager now, Jane, but at that time she was a coordinator. And they said, you got to talk to her. They want to talk to you. So I called, and it was her. And a couple of days later, I was on a plane to England.
So that's got to be a headspin. You get that. You got to be like, oh, this is bullshit, right? This is, you guys are pulling my leg. Something's going on here. I
would have thought that if somebody called me acting like they were from Judas Priest or something. But knowing it was Julie calling me and knowing, that we were friends. She lived in Rochester, New York. So the last show we did was in Erie, PA, and they drove because it's a couple hours from here, and her and Christine drove from Rochester and videoed the show. So, and it was great because I never saw the video, and they just get a call out of the blue. So it was kind of crazy. And it's funny because I got a call for the band. Then I got a call, I'm finally starting to fall asleep, and I get a call from Scott Travis, and he says, "Hey, Tim, this is Scott. We're all sitting around here. Now, it had to be 3 a.m. there, and we've been drinking. We just the band wanted me to ask you to make sure that it was really you singing on the video. It wasn't you miming." And this was an era that people, nowadays, so many people use fake vocal tracks, but no one did it then.
Fresh off the Vanilli stuff, right?
Yeah, I said no, that was really me. Now everybody's doing it, so it's kind of a popular thing.
So you had to give them a few lines just to make sure that.
And I just exactly what I did. I showed up and they said, "All right, let's hang out. We'll go to dinner tonight, and tomorrow you can sing." First of all, they said that I didn't have to sing, and I quit the Judas Priest tribute band because I couldn't sing. I wasn't singing that great. And it was a year later, I was back to singing better. But they said, "Yeah, we just want to meet you. We want to make sure you're not some kind of LA rock star kind of guy. And we just want a normal guy." And so I didn't even think I was going to have to sing. So I didn't get ready or anything. I didn't prepare. I didn't, here, come sing a song and I could work on it. I show up and they said, "Well, you can sing tomorrow." I'm like, "Oh, no." So I said, "How about if I just sing tonight or now? I mean, I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. It's not going to be very good. Let's just do it now." And they went into a studio and put on "Victim of Changes," a live version from the 80s concert, and took Rob's vocals out and had me sing to it. And I sang the first line and hit the high note, and Glenn said, "You got the gig."
It was that quick.
That quick.
Wow. Okay. And from that night, again, you must be pinching yourself. You're like,
yeah.
Here I am with my heroes.
I did, but they treated me so good and we got along so well. Listen, these were my idols and people I had on my bedroom wall, and but it was like being around guys you've known forever, not from the people on your wall, but just the way they acted. I always tell this. The only bad thing about making Judas Priest is I lost my idols, because those idols became my friend, and the guys on the wall were gone. So we, you met your friend, but they treated me like friends and a family. So it was just a really easy experience, just the way you felt. It was really amazing.
Was the material for Jugulator already made at that point?
Yeah, I think it was. I think most of it, I think, was done. I think most of it, the first songs I recorded for Jugulator was Death Row, Burning in Hell. I think those are the first two I definitely recorded for it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So you pretty much went straight from that audition to recording within a matter of months?
It was a while. They released it. I made it February. I went out there and made it February, but it wasn't released until June or July. And I might have went over and recorded a little bit before that. I'm trying to think. I might have went over and recorded a little bit. The first place we recorded the first 2 or 3 songs was in a studio. Barry Moore Barlow, the drummer, Jethro Tull, we went to his studio and recorded it. And then the rest of them were recorded. Then we went somewhere else and recorded the rest of the record. But I know we had a recording session earlier on, and then we started to really get into it later on.
At what point did live gigs come in to it? Did you do before you were recording?
No, the album came out, and then we did it. Started in America probably 98, 97. Well,
I thought it came out in June of 97. Right.
Jugulator came out in 97, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was 97 is when we, around Halloween, because that's a lot of records used to come out back then around October. And so, yeah, that was when we first started.
Now, did you have conversations with the band? Any advice? Because you were taking the the space of a guy who who was very beloved to the fans. It must have been very difficult for you to kind of step into that role. What kind of advice or preparation did you have for stepping into those shoes?
Well, listen, I was confident. They were confident with my voice. I think I knew some fans wouldn't like me, but I also knew that I could sing really good, and I could sing really good live. Like, what advantage I felt I had as a singer was I can sing, at least try. I could sing what I recorded in the studio. Like, whatever I recorded, I'm going to be able to sing that live. And I felt when fans came to the show, they could, they would be happy that they have someone who's coming into Judas Priest that could still keep the voice going. So if someone didn't like me, there's nothing I could do. KK used to always say the proof is in the pudding. Come to the show and see. And I think a lot of people used to come to the shows and they just couldn't wait to hate me. They wanted to go. They hated me showing up and wanted me to fail. And so many of them, I'd win them over when I started singing because they could tell that I loved it. I loved what I was singing. I wanted to do the songs justice. So I always felt confident, and I knew I couldn't make people happy, and it was a really bad time of heavy metal, So it wasn't like I joined them in the heyday. I mean, at the end of when Rob left Judas Priest, they were playing in front of a couple thousand people on the Painkiller tour at a lot of shows. So I mean, it really wasn't a great time of heavy metal. So I understood that, and I understood people would want Rob back, but all I cared about was getting on stage and sound. I just wanted the band to be happy and me to be happy with me doing it. That's all I worried about.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like you say, you won a lot of people over. I think your attitude, you're just a dude. You're an everyman. People could really relate to you. And that, I think, made a lot of people who were doubters want to see you succeed.
Yeah. Listen, I know a lot of the musicians at the time, especially the hair metal bands, because hair metal was gone at that time. They hated me in LA because they're like, who's this guy? He comes from Akron, Ohio. What's he done? How's he here? And I think that is why. And I still am the same Ohio guy, same friends. I have the same attitude, and it's just we're all of us the same. I tell musicians this all the time. We're all the same. I mean, nothing different.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any sort of communication or relation with Rob Halford at that time?
No, just in the press, they always tried to get us to say mean things and bad things. And every now and then one of us would say something. Now, this was pre-internet, right? So couldn't imagine doing that nowadays, how screwed up it would be. But no, because, there was a respect. I don't think Rob liked me much, probably at the time, because someone's going to his band, his songs and singing this. But we always had this respect, and when we met each other, we always had great talks, and I think it made a lot of people mad that we liked each other. I think it made a lot of people mad, and I think it still does. But whenever I've seen him, it's I love talking to him, and he knows what's going on with me, and he's like, oh, I see that you're playing in Russia, whatever. But yeah, people would try. Back in those days, they would have the old tape recorder hidden. Now they could just turn their phone on, right? And no one would know it. But you would do an interview, and then they go, all right, the interview's over. And then they would have they'd turn the tape recorder off, but they'd have another one going in their pocket trying to get you to say stuff. And when you know this, doing interviews, you get people to feel comfortable. So you talk like your friends, and then you just start saying stuff. And I put my foot in my mouth a few times. Oh, now I do all the time because I always do.
Well, I tell you, I may be a bit different and maybe a bit backwards or naive in this, but I like to make this a bit of a gossip-free show. I've had almost all the Zappa siblings on, and we never talk about the drama of the family. I want to stick to facts, and I want people to have a good story, but not to
But you don't even have to. You don't even have to do that, because even this conversation we can have, Blabbermouth will make drama out of something I said. It's just normal one line, one line that isn't bad, but they could make sound bad. because some people won't even go look at the interview. They'll just look at that line in the headline and go, Tim says that Rob didn't like him.
Oh.
Not saying that what the whole what we just talked about was nothing. But anyways, it's good to have that, because there's enough of that shit on the internet now and on social media that why should we talk about the negative stuff or try to bring out that kind of stuff? You know, I mean, that people love that. I mean, listen, social media, everybody knows everything. All the fans know what I should look like and write like and give me career advice. I get career advice every day by, someone who flips burgers, but they give me career advice every day. And it's like, why do you do this? You should do this. I'm like, what do you do? But so we don't need to, we could just talk about the good stuff.
Yeah. So it sounds like, you've maintained a relationship with Rob, and even he's become a bit of a mentor, giving you advice.
Yeah, I've never gotten advice from him.
Well, you say you're going to Russia. He calls you and kind of gives you tips.
He checks things out. I mean, because this was years ago doing Hail or probably Project Rock, and he's like, "Hey, I saw you're going to Russia. How's those fans there? It looks pretty cool, and it's just nice." I was doing a benefit for a Dio benefit, and he was getting an award, and it's good that we can be happy with things and know what's going on. I mean, I love that they put out good music, and he sounds great. And I let people know that all the time, there's no jealousy in the fact. I love to watch Rob sound good. So it's kind of a cool thing that we don't attack each other.
Of course. Yeah. And Rob's been on the show before as well. And he's a lovely dude. Is there a Halford song that is extraordinarily hard to sing?
I haven't sang them all, the ones I've done. Not, Metal Meltdown's a little harder, I guess. But again, I try to sing these songs exactly how they were recorded in the studio. Rob has an advantage. He can change them because they're his songs. So he doesn't actually sing them like they were sung in the studio, which most people should do that. I'm forcing myself to try to do it, but I think I probably have a harder time with a few of the ones I wrote, Bloodstained or some of the other things. But the Sentinel can be tough to sing. But again, I'm not doing all the stuff. I can 100% guarantee there's some tough ones. As you get older, I mean, now that I'm 57, but I'm singing right now as good as I've ever sang, so I'm kind of lucky. But I probably have a little more trouble with some KK's Priest songs, because I wrote them. So singers always write to the top of their ability, not always, but sometimes, and that's when you get yourself in trouble. And you listen to Sermons of the Sinner off the Sermons of the Sinner record. It's just total high note, all at you, so.
So the Judas Priest catalog that you were on, Jugulator, Demolition, Live Meltdown, they were released on vinyl back in the day, 97 and 98, but never reissued since. Any sort of perspective or thoughts as to whether those will ever be reissued on vinyl? Hey there, audiophiles. If you're seeking stylish furniture to showcase your stereo and record collection, well, look no further than SidetrackedWorkshop.com. Sidetracked Workshop designs extraordinarily elegant record cabinets and consoles that add sophistication and panache to your music hobby. Handcrafted in the good old USA in the vinyl-loving city of Portland, Oregon, Sidetracked Workshop's designs are a music lover's dream. Made with real walnut veneered wood and brass accents, these gorgeous designs add class and taste to the record room and ship fully assembled and ready to enjoy. Just check out the designs for yourself at SidetrackedWorkshop.com. Look, you spend thousands of dollars on records. Don't keep them in a crate, and don't risk your records on those feeble wooden pegs from IKEA. Your music deserves the dignity of Sidetracked Workshop. That's SidetrackedWorkshop.com. Elegant solutions for the vinyl lifestyle. So, the Judas Priest catalog that you were on, Jugulator, Demolition, Live Meltdown, they were released on vinyl back in the day, 97 and 98, but never reissued since. Any sort of perspective or thoughts as to whether those will ever be reissued on vinyl?
Well, they're not even out. I mean, Jugulator's gone. It's not even, you can't even stream it or find it. So it's not only that they don't make the vinyl anymore, they hit it. They want nothing to do with it. Not sure why. Demolition's on the streaming sites. Mm-hmm. It's funny. Everybody says Judas Priest doesn't have it, but they put the album in their $500 box set they just released. So the music got put in the $500 box set, but they won't release it. I'm not sure why. I think it'd be pretty awesome right now in concert to hear Rob sing Cathedral Spires or Burning Hell or Bloodstained. He would sound really good on Burning Hell. He would sound really good. And the fans love it. When the fans love that stuff, but they just, they swept it under the rug and somebody doesn't want it out. And that's just the way it is. And, the good thing is there's two better records out than those from KK's Priest that are out there now that people can get. And those are phenomenal records.
Yeah. And like Live in London was never out on vinyl, and that would be something loved.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand why. I mean, I'm not going to make any money from them, but they are, so I don't get it.
So after Priest, you went to Iced Earth, replacing Matt Barlow, I think. If I have that right. Playing with John Schaefer, who's, getting known for many things in his life, but also Richard Christie, who you formed Charred Walls of the Damned with.
Yes.
I really love this band, Charred Walls of the Damned. And I can't, it's hard for me to say it without imitating Richard.
I know, right?
Charred Walls of the Damned, we haven't heard from since 2016. Do you think there will ever be another Charred Walls of the Damned record?
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, it was on Metal Blade, and I guess it's up to Richard. It's his project. He does everything with it. So it would be really cool because, it's the last record from Charred Walls of the Damned was my favorite, to be honest. And I thought it was just phenomenal. I mean, the players on that record, I mean, Jason Sukoff is an amazing producer and engineer, but here's this guy in a wheelchair who's crazy, getting high all day and crazy. So you got him and Richard together. It's just, but he's so good. You listen to that guitar playing on those records. Oh, good God, man. So I would be great to do one. I mean, I'm pretty busy, but I definitely have time to throw some vocals down.
Yeah, Creature's a phenomenal record.
It's just great. To me, it's the best because it has more. It'd be better live. Yeah, it has more straightforward parts, more choppiness, verse, chorus. It just where it could be live. The other ones had a lot of craziness, which were great records. But I also think what's going to go over a good live. But all three of the records were just so good. I mean, just great.
Do you record them in the same room, or are those files going back and forth?
I recorded those there, which is strange because, like I said, I record right here. This is where I recorded the KK's Priest, and this is where I record everything now. Unless like that, he'd probably want me to go to Florida and do it, probably in Sukoff's studio, which would be okay. I don't mind that, but I like to just sit here and have my coffee and have my cunt mug and my coffee and be all ready.
When's the last time you were starstruck?
Boy, I don't even know. I would do a lot of benefits. The problem is all the stars I end up kind of meeting become friends and we're in the same industry. You got to try to act like you're not, a lot of those sporting events. I did some celebrity golf sporting events, those are, and I meet a lot of people I grew up watching in sports. I'll tell you where I did, and I don't even know who they are, but I'm kind of in awe, was when I do this golf charity event for the Navy SEALs, and I'm around the Navy SEALs guys, and I'm actually I just look around at him. I'm always thinking, man, that guy's 5'3" and looks like he couldn't get out of a wet paper bag, and he would put me on a finger hold, and I would be crying,
Each one of those guys can kill you within 11 seconds.
Yes, I'm amazed at looking at these guys, and I think, man, these are Navy SEALs. And I actually get a little starstruck with that.
Wow. Okay. They show you some techniques?
No, but they tell me some stories, the training stories and what it takes. And the one was the sniper that was on that movie that Tom Hanks was in, the captain, whatever. We got the pirates got him. He was out in the ship.
Yeah.
He was one of the snipers that got the guy in the bow. So it was kind of cool to hear the stories.
Oh, I haven't seen that movie, so thanks for spoiling it.
Well, it's a true story. So, I mean, there's not.
Oh, I'm kidding. So,
not like I met anybody from the Titanic. I won't ruin that for you.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how that ends. So, yeah. Did you ever spend any time with some of the other vocal heroes? Bruce Dickinson. You ever spend any time with Ozzy? Any of those guys?
John Oliva, I have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all the ones now, Ralph Sheepers and all the people now, all mine, Ronnie Dio is the one I did. Glenn Hughes.
Ooh.
Some of, yeah, I mean, I get to, Glenn's a wonderful guy. And, but yeah, never really with Bruce or never Ozzy.
Okay. I thought one of the real incredible moments of your career is playing with Yngwie.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. And if anyone wants to hear an example of this, just look at YouTube, the cover of Beat It. How did the Michael Jackson cover come up?
That's a terrible cover, by the way. It's absolutely horrible. I am absolutely horrible on that. Funny story about that song is he said, hey, you want to do this Beat It cover? That was absolutely, it'd be cool. But I was on tour in South America on a solo tour, and I'd gotten salmonella and I was losing my voice and I was sick, and I had to go to the studio and sing it. And it was just, I don't even want to hear it. And I just remember doing it. I'm thinking, this is really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Really bad. I didn't have a voice. But anyways, working with him was great and easy in the studio. Easy, had a fun time, and it was good. When I was offered to do that, I thought, why not? Because I mean, it's a different type of crowd for me.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy changed the face of guitar playing. So I was like, this is going to be pretty cool.
So that door is open for doing more Yngwie collaborations.
Well, I would. He's kind of, I never shut the door. He did. He doesn't like any of his old singers from the press, from what he says in the press. So that kind of sucks. I never shut the door because I would work with him again. I'd love to do another record with him. I think it'd be cool as hell to do a record together. But he doesn't seem to like the old singers, which I don't know why he lumped me in with anybody. We never had any issues. I quit the band. Maybe that's why. I didn't even announce that I quit the band. That's even what's funny about it is Wendy Dio got a hold of him. I quit the band, and then I never even announced it. Never. Here's the guy that keeps getting fired from bands. I at least could have announced it that I actually quit one.
Were there any gigs that you were offered or up for, but you just couldn't make it work, scheduling or otherwise?
No, I don't really think so.
Okay. Is there anyone you would be looking forward to, you really want to collaborate with on your wish list?
Tony Iommi and Geezer Butler, probably.
Ooh.
I would love to sing with those two. Man, I just love the way they both play so much. And Tony's rhythms, I'd love to do that.
Is there an ultimate record for you? Like, if you hear the asteroid is headed to Earth and you've got about an hour, what album do you put on?
Heaven and Hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Mob Rules, some people think's better. I would be hard pressed to that. Or, I mean, Screaming for Vengeance would be pretty cool, but probably Heaven and Hell.
Oh, that's a good choice. Very appropriate too.
Yeah.
All right. So Tim, thank you so much for joining us here. Now, again, we're looking forward to your dates in Australia. Again, February of 2025, hardlinemedia.net. Anything special, anything the Australian fans can expect?
No, I mean, a great show. I'll probably have a Traveler on stage. That's my new low-carb beer I'll drink there. And have fun. It's fun. Come out and have some fun with me. Let's listen. If people want KK's Priest to come to Australia, which they do, then they're going to have to sell these shows out. Because if you can't sell these shows out, you're not going to get KK's Priest coming into town.
Okay. All right. Well, look, you're well on your way. A lot of these gigs are already very much in demand. I wouldn't be surprised if there are a couple other dates coming up. But is there going to be any vinyl on the merch table?
I don't know. You know, Doug will have stuff. I won't be bringing stuff with me, but there'll be some merch at the table. So hopefully there'll be some vinyl.
Ooh, you should bring that Jugulator. Bang! Right on the back wall.
I'll bring it. I'll sell it for $2,000. That's what I'll sell it for at the show.
Okay. Those of you with deep pockets, make sure you bring cash.
Yeah. Well, I'll have. They can PayPal it to me. I won't be bringing any vinyl. We'll have some merch there though.
Mate, thank you again. Absolute honor to have you on the show, Tim, and we look forward to seeing you down under after the first of the year.
You got it, man.
Stay
all right,
warm.
Perfect.
All right.
All right. We'll see you.
Cheerio.
Bye.
Oh, man, very, very cool dude, very humble, very approachable, and no one's got a bad word to say about him. Don't forget, Australians Tim Ripper Owens is back February 2025. A lot of shows are selling out, so get up there quick, hardlinemedia.net. If your city's got a date and there's tickets left, you better grab them fast. And that's it for this episode of The Vinyl Guide. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hey, I need you to do me a favor. Please leave us a positive review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. I think 5 out of 5, something like that. Say something nice. Make us blush. That is always appreciated. And we'll be back shortly with a brand new episode. So until we talk next time, get out there and buy some records, people. Cheers.